Rookie OTAs is officially complete, and today we're going to react to the 2 highlight reels the Lions posted from Rookie OTAs. And this is really our first glimpse at any of these guys, the undrafted free agents, the draft picks, as well as some of the players that are in for a tryout, though I'm not sure who exactly we're looking at for some of those players here. I can see it by their number that they're not listed, so they're a tryout player. I just don't know with a few of those who the player actually is. But that being said, for the most part, we know who these guys are just based on their numbers. And today we're just going to react to these 2 highlight reels, see what's going on, because this is really our first impression of these guys in Lions uniforms as we continue forward to work through kind of this offseason process. But we've done this before. We've reacted to highlights. It went pretty well. You guys seem to enjoy it, so we're going to do it again here today. Let's dive right into it. Let's just have some fun with this. And we started off, of course, with Lovett, who got us hyped up for both of the days. And you could tell kind of at his presser that this is I think, how his character is going to be. Charismatic. They show Isaac Teslaa immediately, who we see a ton of. They're also trying to get that Meyer logo in there. We see you, Lions. But no, they're going to show a ton of Isaac Teslaa, likely because at this stage, his highlights are going to draw a lot more attention than watching Ahmed punch a bag off the line of scrimmage. So it's understandable. I get it. All right, we don't want to watch Miles Frazier pushing around a pad left and right, but they show a lot of Isaac Teslaa, so we're going to see a ton of him. And then, of course, well, it also makes sense when he was a Lions fan. And then, of course, we go to Tate Ratledge. And in my opinion, this should have been the first clip. Like, I don't know why this wasn't like the jump-off clip, but, you know, it's fine. We show the haircut of Tate Ratledge there. Then we got Dan Jackson with the high knees. And then we go to this, the first clip. This was a fire first clip, by the way, Lions. Congratulations. This was outstanding. John Morton, the Lions' new offensive coordinator. He was here before. John Morton's back. By the way, a lot of people have asked me, like, what's going to change in the offense with Morton? I got a full video on that. We did, like, months ago on, like, how I think things will change. What'll be the same with John Morton, my expectations for that. So definitely check out that video. It's like 30 minutes long. There's clips in there from John Morton's past as a coach. Like, definitely go check that one out. But anyways, we have John Morton here with Isaac Teslaa kind of running this speed out route. You can see kind of getting in his ear, likely just telling him the depth to get to before he breaks off this route, and then we kind of drop this thing off. But for the most part, it's just kind of cool seeing these two work together, seeing John Morton out there with the practice sheet. We see you, okay. And then we watch the route. He's keeping an eye on it as well. They talked about wanting to work on his route running. We talked about the release specifically. We didn't really see a release there. I actually like a lot of things about his route running, specifically back to his discipline, eyes forward. When he really keeps his pads down, he doesn't rise a ton. You can see it right there. There's not much of a rise. He kind of maintains the same as he's working through this break and an underneath route here. Then when he snaps off this route and you see him as a pass catcher, then he snaps back his eyes here. And then it's about that sideline footwork, which we immediately get a sense of, just like this. Now the hands are outstanding, right? This is what I'm trying to say. The hands are fantastic here, and then just the body control. Now when I first saw this, I was like, oh, he didn't get his feet in bounds. But when I paused it right here, I don't know where that left foot is. We need another angle. But it looks like this dude might be in bounds. He may have caught this in bounds. This may be a fantastic grab. I don't know who throw this pass like right straight over his head, but this might be the fantastic like start to get things jumped off here. See, the toe gets a little bit in the air, but I think there's a toe drag there. I think this is going to end up being a reception. So just a beautiful jump off point. We kind of get to see the skill set of Isaac Teslaa. We also see that he's able to keep his feet on the ground, extend, use that large catch radius that he has. He doesn't have to leap because he understands where the sideline is. It's just a great feel to it, and then he finishes through the process working out of bounds here. Now here's our first look at Tate Ratledge pushing dudes around. We're going to see a lot of this, I would assume. He's also working with Leaf Fatanu, the center that we ended up signing as an undrafted free agent. There's some leverage. See him kind of drop in his hips there, kind of rolling through there. This little outside zone type of block, right, where you can drive that leverage through, drive it through the core, press through just like that on the move. And then we get Dominic Lovett running some routes here. And I know that, we haven't done the breakdown of this player, but initial, takeaways were like, man, I really liked the savvy that he would run his routes with, right? There was a lot of savviness to his routes. We want to see more consistency in a lot of areas, but the savviness was always noticeable at the top of the route, and it's this kind of stuff. It's the eyes at the top of the route. Now, sometimes I felt like he would rise a little bit coming into his breaks, but he would utilize his eyes really well, right, for the cornerback at the top of the route. Then there's the break. See, he gets his eyes back a lot quicker to the quarterback, so you can see maybe some of the discipline differences there between him and an Isaac Teslaa immediately. And then you see the hands. I like the focus through the catch. Again, body control, sideline, toe tap, get the feet in bounds, and he nearly took off close. It was close. You can see some differences, though, immediately. Then we get Ahmed right here. And, man, this dude is built. My goodness, this dude is built in the lower body. He is explosive as heck, and you can see it immediately. You see that power, you see the force. We keep it moving, and this is when we start to get the undrafted free agents. We get Keenan James, the UMass receiver, who was he played really good against some good competition. This is a big playmaker, did a lot of things after the catch. Here's the over-the-shoulder, soft hands type of grab. This thing's probably getting jarred loose, but soft hands, fingertip catch. That's something that I know at times you'll practice that for the focus of it, but you can see him. Look at the fingertip catch right there. Bam. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And then you see, is that Scotty Montgomery? Pump those arms. Pump those arms. We pressing this, and then Oh, that is beautiful. Beautiful catch. You know, he egged that catch. That's catching an egg right there. Then we go to Miles Frazier, the big offensive lineman. You can see the work that he was trying to put in to keep his pads down. You can see his frame, man. This dude is pretty well built throughout his frame, man. This is the thick frame, upper and lower body. He's well proportioned here, but just trying to keep his pads down is kind of the drive there. You can see that was a focus through these clips. Then we got Isaac Teslaa again here. Look at the route discipline. You can see to drop his weight. Here's some of that short area foot quickness from the dude that's 6'4" is crazy. And you're going to see the redirect that he presses back upfield. There's some of the juice there. Then he snaps it off tight. You can see him really snap down his routes right here. Like a press upfield. Bam, snaps it off. Drop that weight, snap it off, sink down. You can see his easy ability to sink. And then what I loved about this was the transition quickness, because they know that the run after catch opportunity is there for him. And mainly, you know, long speed's a huge part of that, but so is his background as the wing T quarterback that was essentially a running back because of that. And what I like about this is, and you can see his eyes get down a little bit, but what I like about this specifically is this transition. Watch the catch to tuck, and he's out of there. That was very smooth transition, clean catch. This is kind of the level 1 stuff where you want to be able to open up right after the catch. It's got to be smooth like this. It's got to be in and out. And sometimes I felt like he would kind of juggle with it a little bit too often, but this one seemed fine. This one seemed fine. That'll be something to kind of keep an eye on as we go forward. Back to Miles Frazier here again, playing with some of that leverage, right? That's kind of those outside blocks, trying to sustain these blocks, run through those, keep his feet active. Now we go back to the receiver position. Now we get our first look at Jackson Meeks. This is the Syracuse receiver. Talked about him a little bit as well. Again, eyes up. You see the footwork. This is smooth, man. Smooth footwork around the cone. Gets upfield, snaps it off. Doesn't snap as well at the top of the route. You can see he doesn't drop his weight as much here. He's kind of a little bit more upright when he's trying to drop his weight, but the footwork's very clean, very smooth. Back to the ball, bam. I love the focus on the hands there. Big hands, man, big hands. Good spot of the ball. Then he's out of there. Then we got Dan Jackson with the hip flips. Or this isn't even Dan Jackson. This is Ian Kennedy. I'm sorry. This is the undrafted free agent. Look at him like that's not it. Grand Valley State. This is the big safety, man. This dude was a hitter. Kind of played a weird alignment at Grand Valley State, right, where he would get on the play. And you're kind of wondering about maybe some of this coverage upside specifically, right? Because at times he would line up over the slot. Didn't feel like that was going to be great for him. But here he is. Maybe question some of the looseness there, right? Breaking open, transitioning, flipping his hips, a little sluggish there with his footwork. But he's able to get back flat to the line of scrimmage, and he finishes with his eyes. I like that. Now we're pushing forward here. Again, Dominic Lovett, man. This dude can run. This is the drills for him, man. Put him into cone drills. It's beautiful, man. The short area footwork, the eyes. He's kind of just dancing around these cones, man. And then the sink, and then look at the bend. Look at the bend, man. He can get flat, turn the corner with ease. Look at that ankle bend right off the foot. Bam, and he's right to his hands, and he's out of there. You can see the transition quickness. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about, right? Hands there, snap it down, and let's get out of there. You can just see the acceleration mainly with that. Go to the tight end position. This is Caden Pierscorn. This is the undrafted free agent out of Ole Miss. You can see, again, keeping pads pretty low here. Again, you can see his frame. You may want to fill this out a little bit more for some of this inline blocking. That's going to be the key, but he does a lot of things technically well. Look how he gets himself wide as he's working through this for sustain, settles himself outside that way he can sustain that block. I really like that. Now we're getting the Teslaa. You can see they're working with his release types here, or really just finding ways to get off the line. There's things that he does well, like here you're going to see ready hands out of it. There's kind of a hesitation off the release. You get a single step, sort of, right, where he just kind of comes to balance more so than anything. He kind of hesitates, comes to balance, and he's out of there. I like the urgency to get out, and I like the acceleration to his game. There wasn't really much of a dip when you see him here, right? He didn't really dip or become skinny. You could see he's kind of just staying upright. This means that someone could punch him right there, like bam, get him that jab. Maybe he wasn't trying to do that in this drill, but he could be stabbed right off the line of scrimmage right there, right? That's where, sometimes you want to kind of drop your shoulder, slide through. They'll teach guys to do things like that. And you can see that step. It wasn't very aggressive, right? It was more kind of short area footwork, quickness throughout his footwork, but he uses that inside club move kind of to work through here, pulling out vertically, but not really dipping through it, and then the soft hands over the shoulder there. Good focus over the shoulder there. I don't have any concerns about the dude's hands. I mean, he's gonna catch the football a lot. Right? I'm pretty confident about that. It's just, again, juggling the ball. Like, let's make that a little bit more clean. Ahmed, here we go. Look at the footwork here. Now, Ahmed started this thing well. He keeps his eyes up, man. He's working over the pads. You could just tell this dude's working his tail off. He's keeping the pads up, and then all of a sudden he starts to peek down a little bit, but he sticks with it. And then look at this. Here's the bend. Look at this. Center that thing up. Go scoop. Okay, we see you, Ahmed. We can need some scoop and scores. That'd be great. Back to Ahmed punching some pads here. We did a lot of these. You saw a lot of this. You can see it through his hips, man. Trying to connect his hips, connect that force, and then really trying to work the shed through that as well. There he is, getting off the ball, trying to create that explosiveness, and the timing right here is a snap. Bam. You can see the time. Now, you can't really tell it's on the opposite side here, but it's pretty consistent here getting off the ball, and it's just kind of driving that through the body here, driving that through the ground. And then we wrap it up with, who is this? This is, Dan Jackson, of course. This is Dan Jackson wrapping up our drills here. So we're going to get right into it with this one. I think we got a one-on-one drill right away. Yeah, so this is the first one that we got here. They ended up posting this one. Understandable. We see you, Lions. I get it. I wish I could move the quality up of this, by the way. This thing's kind of whack looking. Maybe it's just stuck in 720. All right, point being here. So we got Isaac Teslaa. Now, this is Gavin Holmes. This is the undrafted free agent out of Texas. And I actually like how Gavin Holmes played this for the most part. He's trying to get up and jam him. We are in a press alignment. You can see he's within 2 yards here right off the ball. Maybe close to a press alignment here, but he's not getting up and jamming guys. He's not really, he's more so kind of just setting back and catching, but really just kind of focused in a mirror. I think he's just trying to play some with that mirror footwork right off the line of scrimmage. It's pretty smooth, actually. I like how balanced he stays pretty square to the line. There's the opening hips. He gets himself in a pretty good spot off the ball. And then with Isaac Teslaa, you can see there's a little bit more juice right here into that single step bam when he kind of plants it. He drops down. There's a little bit more there to kind of shift weight. It's not fantastic. Again, he doesn't really dip his shoulder, but you see the fast hands there. What stands out to me is the acceleration. There's the plant. There's the stick. Gets upfield. You see the ready hands trying to swipe down. He did the same thing in college, and then he was out pretty quickly, man. There's a good acceleration to his game. He runs through contact well. And then this gave me some Quintez Cephas vibes, man. The way that he would use his hands as he's working towards the catch point here, right? He's battling, separates, keeps him kind of at arm's length right here. And then it's just smooth. It's easy. The process is smooth. And look at that. He kind of double catches this thing, man. This is a tough catch, but then he tucks it into his body. The concentration there is outstanding. This is it's kind of thing that I think we're going to get, right? You get that little subtle push off, but it's not even really a push off. He's just kind of keeping him at arm's length, keeping his distance, because Gavin Holmes gets in a good spot, right? Right here when he transitions, there's enough there, right? He keeps his pads down, opens himself up, gets that inside arm, stays on, he's a little bit high. He's on his kind of his top shoulder. He's not really able to drive down into his hip, but that's because Teslaa keeps pushing him back off, and he's long as heck. So he's trying to close that airspace and find the ball when Teslaa looks back. If we look at Teslaa's eyes here, right here, he's finding the football. So he's engaging in this hand battle. He finds the ball pretty late, and he's able to find the football, redirect to it with ease. Like, that body control is crazy because he's not finding the ball that early, right? You see him pressing downfield. He's looking back, but right now Gavin's like all in his face. So now he finds the football. Gavin has to go find it too, and it's just, that's outstanding. That's outstanding by him. That's the kind of thing that we're going to get from Teslaa early. I believe that. Over the shoulder here, let's Dominic Lovett. Again, kind of with that the soft fingertip hands grab. And then we go back to the offensive line. We got Miles Frazier. Look at him working to stay low, here, driving to the pads, driving his legs through contact. Back to Ahmed, we're going to see some real bend, man. His ability to play low is pretty impressive. He's a big dude. You can see it, dude. He's really big in the lower body. But you see his ability to kind of bend through this. You can see his ability to keep his weight down. He doesn't really rise. He's kind of trying to loop here. Look at him work off that ankle here. The get off is a little bit slower, but he's really trying to keep his pads down. You can see he's able to maintain that through most of the rep here. And he's trying to bend right off that ankle right here to snap that off and get flat. And it's not a bad job. Now they're trying to work on some of the looseness here. We'll see within his hips as we go forward. Then we got Teslaa, and I'm not sure who he's working on in this one. It's 25. I don't know. It kind of looks like Amir Hall a little bit in the Michigan corner. I mean, there's a couple guys it could be. It could be Rutherford. It kind of looks like Rutherford a little bit slash Amir Hall. I think this is Amir Hall, but I'm not sure. He's 6 foot. He's pretty long, so this looks like him. I know he was very active with his hands, so I get the sense this was probably him trying to find contact here. But what stood out with Teslaa on this one, man, is the ability to work through contact. So again, this is what he did well, right? It's about getting himself clean, but the big thing here is like he can work through contact. So he's going to get punched as he is here. You got cornerbacks who aren't stabbing him off the line. Instead, they're kind of just mirroring him, and then they're going to react as he works into the stem of his route. So they're not punching him off the line. They're working here. So, and this is what a lot of corners do in press now. So when he gets to that spot, his ability to play through contact, snap this off, even though he's being grabbed, just like that, bam. I mean, he's just running. It doesn't look like he's impacting his route at all. It doesn't look like this grab is impacting his route at all. And there he is, snaps it off. And look at that inside chop. Chops down at the arm, gets that thing free, gets himself separated right here, and it's just, look how clean that is, man. There's the bend right through it, snaps it off cleanly, keeps that pad level low, bam. And that's just nasty, dude. He looks like a small receiver, but he's built, so it's hard to slow him down. You can see he runs right through it there, and then the hands on the play, his fast hands, because right here he's working out of it, gets his hands out pretty late, bam. Fast hands. Maybe is later when he gets to the punch. Like this punch was fine, and then he kind of works off the shed, right? You still want to have kind of that force into contact. You don't want to just rush the process. You still want to explode through it. You still want to get your hips into it, then shed the block. But then you're also going to see 49 over here as well. My belief is this would be Corey Suttle in the background, a little bit longer. As you're going to see, his hair is not really sticking out, and you'll notice a little bit later we're going to get Keith Cooper. Not sure who that is. I assume it's either Corey Suttle or it's Keith Cooper. It's one of the two, I would guess. I'm not sure which one it is here, but it's kind of the same look. You're getting the bottom of your hands, and there you're getting those big lower hands, kind of more so your palms, not your fingertips as much, right? Using your fingertips, that's where you can kind of grab guys and control blocks a little bit. So he's going bottom hands, creating force through that. You see the angle through his body, working through his hips here, and then you get the kind of the clean shed. I do like the footwork with him here. We talked about how agile he is. He gets out of that pretty smoothly, gets upfield, and then it's about connecting his hands to that so he actually has a finishing move to get through it, because there's the punch, and then you're going to see off of it, there's a little bit of a swim or something here. I'm not exactly sure what this is, right? And he's kind of a little bit upright. You see a little bit more dip on this side when he's kind of dipping through the block to kind of slide off of that one. Footwork, not as much with the upper body. Back to Dominic Lovett here. Now he's looking at the cones a little bit, but then boom, there's a savviness, man. There's where he shakes his head at the top of the route. He's going to snap back into it again. You can see he rises a little bit more through his routes, but then snap it off, flies out of those cuts, and then there's the finish. And I like the focus with his hands. This is going to be a key part for him there. But you can see the fast feet, man. Everything's quick. He transitions quickly. There's the hands. There's the focus, eye coordination there, and then he's out with it. And his tuck process is very smooth right here. Right, gets it into his hands and he's going. It's mainly because he accelerates like crazy. Like, again, back to the punch in the pads here, and you're just going to see, like this one, right, kind of lose the force, kind of, I think, rushes into the shed a little bit more. But that time you get a nice little hand usage to get off of this one, right? You get that inside punch from the left arm, then you get the swipe back over top to get off that block. And looking at the background, I actually think this is going to be Keith Cooper, the edge out of Houston. I think you can tell by his hair kind of flying out of his helmet here. So there's a little bit more fluidity there. We get Kai Robichaux, and by the way, you got Dwayne Martin, who's working back here. This is the fullback, so he is working with the running backs. We got Tyus Howard, the Ohio running back. Active use of his feet. May not be the most elusive running back, right? He may be a little bit upright, you could say, at times as well, right? It's not as low, it's not as shifty, but he's playing on his toes, and he's playing so quick with his toes. He's playing so active that he just responds really well. Bam, he's right out of there. Responds really well. So the change of pace, it felt pretty similar as you were kind of watching him work through it, right? Didn't feel overly dynamic, but I liked how quick that he was working through this to avoid that last ball, and I think that's what they're excited about. Then you got of course Ahmed working through the trash cans here, and you're trying to explode through those hips, man. Create some looseness here. He kind of gets caught up on it a little bit, which means that you're probably breaking a little bit wide here. So he snaps off it a little bit wide, and he ends up slowing down. So that rep gets kind of thrown off a little bit, right? Because we want to create some slither. We want to pop through here, and then you can see he's popping a little bit wide here, so we got to resettle back in, and then bam, snap those hips through, create some looseness, create some explosiveness through it, and then Jackson Meeks wraps us up. Actually, might be Muhammad. Now that I'm looking at it again, when you see some of the long speed here, this might be Muhammad. None of them really have great long speed. We just did the video last night. Check that out. But regardless, we get Meeks here, stop, start. He's taking off. Then you get Dan Jackson flying into the picture. Overall, and I like this with Meeks. I like the underhand technique here. This is pretty smooth in his body, right? He let it get to his body, but he's not seemingly catching with his body, catching with his hands. Underhand technique. The process is pretty smooth there. Doesn't really lose too much pace working through this. Right? This is pretty good. And staying on the ground, right? Being able to kind of stay on the ground through these catches is key here. Like this, like the little hops for no reason. We don't maybe always want that. We can understand this one though. He does keep his feet pretty close to the ground though, right? Getting back to it. That way he has some contact balance. That way he can finish. That way he can create run after catch. That we're not just floating through these grabs. So for the most part, it looked pretty good across the board. That's your highlight reel from the first rookie OTAs. We'll see if we get more information on this, but for now, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, man. Thank you, Pride, for watching.